That's right. Welcome back to the Puck Drop Podcast. I'm Cole, the NHL Music Man Chapman, and I'm here with Lieutenant Tangle D.
As always.
Destin Edgington. And we are brought to you by Hockey Stops. Don't forget that, and I'm sure you haven't if you watched all of our episodes, because I say the same thing every single episode. So make sure you go hit up Corey and Dan. We had Dan on last week, and it was just a fantastic time. But big stuff happening up at Hockey Stops and in the hockey community. And we're also brought to you by Beer Bar, where we host all of our Utah Hockey Club watch parties. Make sure you check those out when the season comes in, but we're going to continue to do some off-season stuff. So follow our socials for all those updates and stay in touch. And we're here with the one and only
Michael
Goodkind. There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen. I was like, I can't see anything, fellas. I really can't see.
Mildly uncomfortable. Yeah.
So you guys probably know Michael Goodkind's face from the Jumbotron, obviously, and at the Utah Hockey Club games, Utah Mammoth games. We just talked about this.
It's a hard transition.
Same corporation, different division.
Yeah, and the Utah Jazz games. You know,
but it's a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah.
I thank you for coming out. Appreciate PR and everybody doing this for us, allowing this to happen. We're gonna now dive in on everything. You didn't know about it. I lied the whole time.
Let me say, I'm grateful to be here.
I'm just teasing you.
I'm great.
He just gets up and
I love that you start out with that comment. Everybody that we've had that are professional in the indie industry, they always start out by saying that.
No, they're like, thank you so much for having me. I'm like, I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Genuinely grateful to be here. So thank you for having me.
So we've had a lot of fun for a minute here, just kind of chatting it up.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the first time that we kind of interacted with you at the opening day.
Well, he was busy.
You were very busy, and I was wearing a shirt that says "Hire me to be your music man," and you remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
You're like, I'm kind of getting ready to do something, man.
No, but seriously, good times. No, it was great.
Okay,
good times. But yeah, so we want to know where you came from. Where have you been in Utah your whole life?
Yeah. Where did you start from? I guess you don't have to explain where you were born, but we like to hear stories.
No, well, I'm born and raised in New York State, 45 minutes north of New York City.
Okay.
And in high school, at the age of 15, I started broadcasting.
Did you ever go to Madison?
Oh, yeah, dude, I grew up going to the Garden.
Awesome.
But grew up a big, believe it or not, Knick fan.
Okay.
Which no longer am. Which is wild because as a kid I loved them so much,
and they're in the finals, they're in the conference.
They're in the conference finals.
He's still gonna watch. But,
I'll still watch, but no, dude, I do not. I don't root for the Knicks anymore, which is interesting. I really feel extremely loyal for whom I work for, and right now that's the Utah Jazz. So to me. Kind of part of Ryan's thing is all in. And I think I'm just an all in person. I'm pretty all in on whatever I'm doing. So dude, the Jazz to me are everything. Cool. And obviously now the Utah Mammoth, right? So
love it.
So is this going to be an odd question? And I mean, like I said, I didn't want to pry too much because I still want to hear, we're going to revert back to that.
Yep.
Okay. Excuse me. Do you think the Mammoth are going to get a cup before the Jazz get a championship? That's an opinion.
Probably a comment he can't
That's
answer.
an opinion, dude.
I can't answer that one.
Why?
I can't answer that one.
That's an opinion. That's
it's a lose-lose for me. You know what I mean?
Well, we don't want to lose. Don't even say that. It's a win-win for us.
That's true. Well, I want to see Utah win. That's where I'm at.
Regardless,
I want to see Utah win. Right.
So do you like Michael Jordan?
That's a great answer.
Wow.
Now being a Jazz fan.
That's a tough question. Do I like MJ? I respect the absolute heck out of MJ.
So you like the push-off. Come on, man.
Do I like the push-off?
The famous push-off.
They did a great job making the docu. Let's call a spade a spade.
Fair enough.
I mean, that docu could turn anybody.
Fair enough.
It did. So MJ, But sorry. Are we going back to my story, or where
we're going to go back?
We're going back to your story.
Yeah, this won't get edited. That's good stuff. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So he wants Mammoth and Jazz.
Organic.
Let's just do it at the same year, huh? 2 years. Give it 2 years.
Yeah, Jazz and Mammoth win it in 1 year.
Let's break history again, right?
I just think I want to be part of some.
You are.
I want to be part of something that's succeeding. And you're seeing that right now with what's happening, right?
Absolutely.
Just on every level with the Jazz.
That's on a rebuild, respectfully.
Although, right?
Yes.
But the Jazz have, since Ryan's bought the team, it's a winning culture.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
And I'm grateful to be there. And honestly, man,
don't get me wrong. We had
I'm
a rough
beyond
season
grateful.
on basketball, but that's okay.
We got shafted on the lottery, but that's okay too.
But it'll happen. It's going to happen in our lifetime.
But what 100%. I love about this place is, call a spade a spade. The fans are the best fans.
Absolutely.
In sports, right? You guys asked about the Garden. Like the Garden was always really loud growing up, going to Knicks games. And my dad was a season ticket holder at Yankee games. So I'd go to a bunch of Yankee games. Cool. But the fans were nothing like Utah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, and the players resonate that. There's NHL players that have come out and said the Delta Center is very loud.
It's not even Utah.
When we had DJ June on, he's like, the hockey, when the hockey club's playing, I have to wear I got to put earplugs in.
Dude, it is so loud. I mean, and you guys mentioned the NHL in Utah party, that first party.
Oh, man.
It's the loudest I've ever heard. I was at Super Bowl 46. I mean, the Super Bowls are also a little corporate, to be honest, but
fair.
I've been to a lot of sporting events in my life. That was the loudest sporting event I've ever been to, and a game wasn't even played.
You want to hear mine? You want to hear mine? You want to hear mine? So, my dad did the music for the Jazz during the Karl Malone to like Carlos Boozer era.
Yep.
They were in the playoffs. Mehmet Okur hit a 3-pointer to win the game in I think it was the conference finals. He hit a 3-pointer to win the game, and I was there with my dad doing the music, and I actually had to plug my ears. It was the loudest environment I've ever been in my life. It hurt my ears when he hit that 3-pointer.
Wow!
Once we settled,
it was epic.
I'll some custom plugs, right?
I'll never forget it.
On him, you can do some cool stuff with those plugs.
So, tying back into your passion for broadcasting, what got you? What piqued your interest in broadcasting?
So I grew up in New York. I grew up a big sports fan. Yankees, Knicks. Never was really athletic. Never athletic at all.
Yeah.
And then in high school, I was playing football. I was the skinniest guy. And I'd get pushed around, and I was like, man, this isn't fun. So,
Same.
So I not fun.
Well, not a lot of change for you two gentlemen.
Not fun.
Destin's always been short, so.
Hey, I swing up harder than I swing down, so.
Dest, you light me up.
I'm just kidding. No.
On the line, it'd be over.
No.
I am getting absolutely annihilated on the line. I'll tell you that. I'm not lining up.
You're supposed to stand in front. I'm supposed to run through you. Under your legs.
Love it.
Defy all gravity on that one. But nonetheless, I decided my sophomore year to maybe do the school drama. I was like, I want to do something more performative. I went to a school. Shout out to the Harvey School in Katona, New York. Love those guys, man. They're awesome.
We'll tag 'em.
Private school. Not a lot of kids, not a lot of students. But I found this love when I was 15 for the mic and broadcasting. And I asked my teacher, Miss Rinhofer, I was like, I want to go down to that homecoming game on Saturday, and I want to broadcast it. I had this vision about broadcasting the game and doing all the games that season.
Everything. Yeah.
Yep. She's like, go for it. And I kind of fell in love with it right there. I was like, there's something about being on the mic and, and I think what makes a good broadcaster is not someone that comes out, or even host or personality is not someone that comes out and wants to fill you with knowledge. But, and this is what we're talking about with versus AI, right? Right. How can I uplift fans and make people feel better and at home?
It's the authenticity of what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
It's being authentic and being you.
Yeah.
Being a personality and being you. That's huge. And that goes a long way.
Utah is an easy place to do this, just because the fans are so immaculate, dude. Right. These fans are so
dedicated,
so damn loyal, dedicated.
Yes.
Yep. Nothing like it. But real quick, kind of subsidize my story here. Ended up going to Boston University, obviously great hockey program.
So
was kind of thrusted into liking hockey. Didn't really have a choice, right? You go to BU,
absolutely,
gotta love hockey.
Yeah.
And actually, when I was a junior, Clayton Keller was a freshman.
Cool.
Nice. Which was cool. So, and he was always obviously a stud in college. And that BU team they were in the Frozen Four. I think they lost in the round of 8 that year.
Frozen. Was it 8?
And they lost in the round of 8. in
When
the
was
tournament. That was in 2017.
Oh, okay.
That
So
team, they were
did you
good
guys
team.
know each other at all in college?
No, just passing, like, you know.
Cross paths.
Yep. I always tried to like kind of be friends with the hockey players, but they're kind of way up here, you know. But
there's no time to think other than what you got to do.
exactly. Long story short, I went out to LA when I graduated, and I wanted to work for the Dodgers. And in Boston, I'd become a tour guide with the Red Sox by serendipitously meeting a guy of a friend who was a tour guide for the Sox. So I threw my resume in, and they hired me in the summer of 2016, and
Sweet.
I was a tour guide at like the coolest ballpark.
Yeah.
And that's the only like real sports experience I had when I graduated. So I knew I tried, I emailed, I was like emailing everyone at the Dodgers and everyone at the Lakers and everyone in LA and not getting a response. So I just moved out to LA. Like,
I'm just going to show up.
exactly. That's what I thought. I'm going to move out there and figure it out. And one day, dude, I got so fed up. I was at like this caddy, this shop to be a caddy, and the guy was so mean to me. And I walked out and I'm like, you know, man, I'm going to Dodger Stadium and I'm going to get a job. And I was so motivated, dude.
Whether you like it or not.
I was exactly. I was locked in. And I got to the ballpark and I met the photographer, Esteban. Guy was walking around with the camera. I'm like, dude, here's my resume. How do I work here? Next thing I know, one of the heads of security for the Dodgers like comes up and grabs me. I'm like, what's going on? Brings me into the ballpark.
It's like, you're going downtown.
Dude, what a story. I'm loving this already.
Brings me into the stadium, into the ballpark, and like walks me down this long hallway, like the hallway of memorabilia at Dodger Stadium, like all the way and into the tour office. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, talk to this guy. I'm like, okay. Hey, I'm Mike. And he's like, I'm Brett Searson. You gave tours at Fenway Park? I'm like, yeah, because they handed my resume out to him. He's like, we're looking for a tour guide. I'm like, okay.
Where do you want me to sign?
I was like, where do I sign? And then 3 weeks later, I was a tour guide for the Dodgers.
That's awesome.
And my first day, I saw up on the Jumbotron, like we're giving pregame tours, and they had their in-game hosts doing their thing.
Well, and even to piggyback off of what we were talking about between AI and blah, 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 and like sales, right? Like get out and interact with people. It's I'm a firm believer in it's not what you know at times, it's who you know.
Dude.
And that will go a long way.
Totally.
Stuff that has happened with us, with our podcast, wouldn't have happened if we didn't go up to somebody and say
and just
hello.
say, hey,
you know?
how's it going?
So
we had Qualtrics analysts come up to us. The one that you were talking about, how loud it was.
Yeah.
Hey, we've kind of been seeing you guys around and da-da-da. This is my name and da-da-da. And it's like, cool.
So what brought you to Utah?
So that's kind of the second part of this story. I'm looking up on the Jumbotron, and they got these hosts, like, you know, in-game hosts. I'm like,
I can do that.
I want to do that. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. And I literally like would not stop bothering the Dodgers about being an in-game host. Like
persistence is key.
Persistence. But it didn't, it paid off to the point where I met Joe Davis, who was the Dodger broadcaster.
Okay.
And Joe was like, man, I'm down to help you out. And Joe sends me in with the Dodgers, and like their head of game presentation was like, hey, happy to help you out, but we have 7 hosts. So like, we don't really need another one. So I'm like, all right, I mean, whatever, I'll take what I can get.
Do a shadow?
Exactly. Just help me.
Figure out.
Exactly. Yeah. I wasn't really ready for it, but nonetheless.
Is anybody ever?
No, you're
Throw
never
yourself
ready.
In the court,
it's like a dad always says, like they're never ready to have their first kid. And it's kind of the same thing with like your career. Like you're usually not ready for your first day.
Absolutely.
Yep. But
get out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. AI can't do. AI is comfortable no matter what.
I can't do it, but I'm willing to do it.
Exactly.
Fair enough. I love that.
Yeah. So I ended up on a digital show for the Dodgers, and then when COVID happened, I did that 2 times in the 2019 season, and I was working at Fox Sports as like a production assistant, like just getting by,
filling out.
Helping out. Jenny Taft was a BU alum and got me in there, which was amazing. And shout out to Jenny. She's the best.
Yep, fair enough.
Huge mentor to me too. And I ended up going to Miami and helped my dad in his business, and was like, subsequently, I can like maybe try to like become an in-game host for like the Marlins or like, any of the teams in Miami. It was middle of COVID. So I couldn't get in any ballpark, couldn't get in any stadium, getting rejected left and right.
You do it on a screen.
Well, that's going to work. Well, what he said was, if so facto,
We're on a comedy podcast as well, guys.
That is pretty much what I had the Darth Vader mask on too. They were like,
Misfortune.
What did he say?
Did anybody pick that up? I don't know. There was a home run hit, though. Did you see it on the screen?
yeah, that was the vision.
Well, I mean, that's the only vision you have when you have a mask over your mouth.
Rough times.
Yeah, for sure. In the entertainment industry, for sure.
Rough times.
Yeah.
But I think some people came out on top of it afterwards. You know,
Totally.
People worked on their craft and made connections through online meetings or whatever it may be. And
and I feel like it was like this kind of an offsetting reset. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but like, unfortunately for the people that have passed with that and all said and done, right? Like, granted.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, you had time to literally take time to find yourself and revamp a little bit and figure out what you needed.
Totally.
To do. Like,
that was like, and I'm a big believer in God. I kind of talked to Destin about this.
Absolutely.
And I'm like a Jewish person, but I also like, I have a lot of beliefs. Like I think Christianity is like very valid too. And I go to church sometimes. And
you don't need to have one certain one.
Exactly.
Right?
But I'm Jewish and I love my roots and where I'm from. Right. Yeah. But I think it's important that we can like respect other people's religions as well. But I think like that was an act of God where so many people were able to like either like start a business after COVID that they wouldn't have started if COVID didn't happen.
Right. Yeah.
Like there were a lot
100%. Facts. Yeah.
It was fortuitous, as tough as it was. I ended up here because of it. So.
So you're in Miami.
Yeah, in Miami, knocking on doors left and right.
And then you come to Utah or what?
So then, finally, after a year, I was dating a girl who I met out there, and I got a job with the Houston Rockets. Doing marketing, and I was supposed to be their in-game host. Change in regime when I got there didn't happen. So I pretty much was like doing grunt work. But honestly, it built character for me. Like, as hard as it was, I was delivering cookies sometimes to radio stations and balloons, and I was getting gifts for artists that came to Toyota Center, like John Mayer.
But you've got a resume,
Exactly.
And it's building.
Exactly.
Like nothing happens overnight. Work hard for what you believe in.
Exactly. And I worked, honestly, shout out to the Rockets for like standing by me and like wanting to help me out the entire way through, like great organization.
And you can probably piggyback off a lot of the knowledge that you have to move forward with what you know now.
I probably wouldn't have been here regardless if it weren't for the Rockets.
Right.
Because I had some tape with them of like doing some digital stuff and
had something to show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Long story short, get broken up with. I go out to Montreal to go see my girlfriend and meet her family, come back and just get completely like blindsided and honestly very hard, but for both parties, best possible thing.
Fair.
And, but 2 months later, I'm like, what do I want to do? Like, I feel like I should keep following this dream. And I go online and I look for jobs, and the Utah Jazz had an opening and I apply for it. Didn't hear anything back. I had emailed the hiring manager, and 2 weeks later I follow up and I say, hey, not sure if you saw this. And he was like, call me, at some point today or tomorrow. And I pick up the phone and I called him, like just out of the blue. And he pretty much was like, dude, I saw your reel and you're a really good fit.
Yeah.
Like, and I end the call. Shout out to Peyton, by the way, who was my boss, who was the guy who hired me, who's no longer here, but shout out to Peyton.
Oh man.
He's awesome. And I hung up the phone and I'm like, I'm going to Utah. I just like had that inkling. I had this suspicion, that was it.
Yeah.
And I sent a picture of like the field at BYU to my family. I was like, I think I'm going here. Going here now. It's in the background. And the next thing I know,
ballpark, man.
Dude, that place is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
One thing led to another, and I ended up in Utah. But it all started with a breakup. So
love it.
Yeah.
Break up with your girlfriend or break up with the Houston Rockets?
With the girlfriend, and it kind of got me thinking. Yeah, it was kind of a both situation. Yeah,
kind of ironic. I feel the same way.
Both mutual. Yeah,
fair enough.
So
that's awesome.
Where did you? I mean, you've got the voice. Where'd you get it from? Did you get it? So I got my voice from my dad. Me and him sound almost identical.
Pretty sure I got mine from my mother.
I mean, my dad, amazing human being, Peter Goodkind. But does not have an amazing voice. Which
Really?
is no, Peter. I could call him right now.
It's just one of those things that happen.
Should I pick him up? He'd probably get back. Amazing guy, and my mom too. Amazing people. My parents are.
We're gonna have a call after this.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
Shout
a call
out to
after
parents.
Oh, with Peter, we could.
Yeah, I want it.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my mom and dad who are amazing, my family, for supporting me all the way. And you know, this is not a career where you know, in the early stages make a ton of money. And like my parents have just been incredibly supportive and the whole way through. So shout out to my parents who are amazing humans. And living on the other side of the country, man, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And shout out to you for the grind, everything with that.
Thanks,
you know?
man.
Like that it takes a lot of tenacity and work and ethic to maintain that. And
you guys do an awesome job though. Like just going for it and starting a podcast. It's awesome. Like you guys do an awesome job, and you're super passionate hockey fans. And like it's great to have people like you in Utah,
Yeah.
you know?
No, I appreciate that as well.
You're telling your story, and I'm like, dude, the alignment of your attitude towards doing what you want to do and everything, I see big similarities, you know. And I told you before this, my late stepfather, he passed away 2 years ago on this day. And
God bless.
That's when I thought, you know, I took a step back and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? What do I want to do? And am I doing what I want to do for the rest of my life? And the answer was no on every single question that I asked myself, you know? So, and then by all means, the Utah Hockey Club came to Utah and I was big into hockey and, you know, I did the music for the Grizzlies and that's when I fell in love with the sport and my dad's on the radio. He's been on the radio in Utah for 50 years.
Well, and you brought my
serendipity
onto the show.
Again, man, everything I think like, you know, life is a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
Life is a beautiful, as much as I want to curse right now, I'm not. Thing.
Do it. Say it.
Effing thing. It is like if you think about it, man, like, I mean, I know I'm going to get kind of got a little bit religious on you guys. Yeah, a little bit.
Go ahead.
But dude, like, you know, I think a lot of times we can go through life and be like, oh man, another, like, got to do this today. Got to do that. Dude, you're great to the 10th power, met your to the 10th power grandma, conceived you, like all the way up to you. Like life's a miracle, dude. Like somehow you're here, I'm here. Like the odds of us being here in this room.
It's 1 in 400 billion to be born.
I think it's even more than that.
It might be more now.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what's crazy? So like,
you got a better chance to get a perfect bracket for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually almost.
I made 85%.
He was in the top, dude. He almost made it.
Wow. Do you got kids too?
No.
Okay. Well, they're gonna be.
That's what I'm saying. I took all that from them. I can't have kids, but no. So with that being said, though, like what you're talking about, it's crazy because like I like talking about religion, right? And that's nothing to shy away from. I have no problem with that.
No. I think just like talking about God, whatever it is, right? Yeah.
So my mom grew up Catholic. My dad was Mormon, right? But not practicing much, right? Ipso facto, I'm a descendant of Martin Harris,
which is a Mormon apostle.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Like that's literal fact.
Wow.
So and now he's here running a Puck Drop podcast,
saying swear words all the time. You know, like,
you'd be proud.
But it's just like I believe in like what I believe in, right? And nobody's gonna take that away from me. And so like it's awesome to have that, no matter who you are or what you believe in.
Yep.
And continue with that, right? There's always something after. There's always something more. But with that being said, like you guys are getting a little soft on me.
No, I'm listening. I think we're always
I'm deep in.
It's real. There's something there, but it's just like
we're always chasing money. We're always chasing
the materialistic
the next
things.
Exactly.
You know, like
and
it's like, always dude, like, whoa, I want those sunglasses.
Exactly.
Like, well, and I'm not even funny that we started off with that. You know, I love that.
Yeah. And then
I'm not even chasing money anymore. I think like with my bonus dad, I'm not going to call him my stepdad. He was my bonus dad. He was in my life since 5 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 34 now.
Really? I thought you were like 24.
Yeah, 34.
No way.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Chap. I'm 29.
Oh, wow.
34.
Dude, I thought you guys were like in your 20s.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Genuinely.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, so I was always the kid in high school that looked like he was 12 years old. So
okay.
That's probably why I look like I'm 25 now. No, I'm loving it now. Whoa. I'm loving it now.
Don't love it that much.
But yeah, I mean, it just like, it's don't even know what I was talking about anymore.
Well, just the genuine, like everything that goes into what you put in.
Yeah.
Right? Like hard work does pay off.
Oh yeah, it was about the money. I think with my bonus dad's passing, it made me realize, and thankfully I'm in a position to where like my wife has a good career. She went to school and everything, and she's a solid backup. She's my rock, and so it made me realize like I'm willing to take a pay cut for my dream job, and I want to love what I do every single day.
And I'm going to go ahead and cut you off. Shout out to Ashley. She's helped us out through so much.
Wifey, love you
for sure.
And that's another thing. Like we don't see the miracles in our lives happening right now a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm a huge victim of it. It'll happen to me all the time. I want this. I want the next thing. I want the next all the time. And it's like, dude, sometimes you got to stop and be like, this is exactly what I wanted 10 years ago.
But I'm not recollecting it now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We often do that. And Tim Drisdom said something. Shout out to Tim, who's loved Tim Drisdom. Tim Drisdom said something to me about playing in the NCAA tournament. He's like, we're playing with house money when you're in the tournament. And I'm like, I feel like life we're playing with house money.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're here.
Yeah.
Like you exist on a planet that somehow revolves
miracle,
perfectly around a sun. Exactly.
Yeah.
And like you get oxygen from the trees just naturally, and then there's water that falls from the skies. We would have complained that it's raining, but like it's keeping you alive.
Or
like,
is it flat and everything revolves around
those
I'm just kidding.
We'll
have a conversation after this.
Those Netflix documentaries, I think it's called Life actually.
Yeah.
And it explains like the percentages of like how everything works. And like, it's a miracle.
It's
crazy.
Yeah. It's insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think we got to remember that a lot of times, like,
well, and that's the thing is like, take a step back, take a breath, recollect on what you have, what you're doing moving forward. And I mean, make sure you have what you want in place as a plan, as a goal. I don't like the term success. For some reason, I don't. I've read a lot of books. I don't like the term success because nobody's ever going to say that, oh, I'm successful. I made it. I'm done. I like the term accomplishment. I accomplished that goal or plan.
And now I have a new one.
And then I want to work toward more and keep going, right? Like you're not just going to stagnate and be successful. I want to earn it and be where I can be to an extent, right? Like you might be successful along the way, which is not a bad thing, but accomplish everything, empowerment through that way.
Yep.
Before you talk about success.
And with that being said,
and it's all subjective, but yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
With that being said, we've got a few minutes left. I want to know what you're working on personally, if you can talk about it.
Yeah, would love to.
Anything fun? A few minutes, wrap it up here, and let's.
I want to tell the finger story too.
Let's hear it.
Which that's a good one for the podcast. And then I can get into a couple of other things. But just quick story. I was talking to Dustin about this, and this was something that happened this season. It was January 14th. We're playing the club's playing the Canadians. And that morning I'm in the gym and I was just like wired that morning, just like going off, like, I'm just flinging weight around with my buddy. And I'm doing like a tricep exercise and it's 1:30. I'm usually got to be at the arena by 3, and that day it was 3.
Yeah.
And I smashed my finger with a dumbbell.
Ooh. That pressure split.
Pressure. It hit it so perfectly. And I looked down and I'm like, oh, that's not good.
That's not coming back.
Exactly. Dude, the finger is dangling by a thread.
My dad. Cole.
Oh, your dad doesn't have a finger?
Yeah.
Wow.
Different story for you.
Yeah. A lot of people don't, which is interesting. I didn't realize that until this happened. So, but yeah, dude, I'm looked down. I'm like, wait, that's not good. So my buddy, luckily, Sam, rushes me to the hospital. We go to urgent care. I'm like, dude, first thing came to my mind, I've never missed a game. I'm like, I'm not missing one tonight. No, I have an opportunity to be at an arena full of amazing Utah fans, like who are passionate, and I get to like uplift them in some capacity and like help be part of the experience. I got to be there. Yeah. I don't want to miss it. Yeah, exactly. Dude, we leave urgent care to go to the hospital. I'm getting stitched up. It's like, I'm like, I got to get in. There's a hockey game tonight. The hockey club's playing the Canadians, and I'm getting stitched up at 5:45. Doors open at 6 or whatever. I think 5:30. And anyway, I get to the arena at like 6:30 and I made it to the game. But like lidocaine in my hand in immense amounts of pain.
That's the worst.
It was a wild experience. Craziest thing ever. Made it through the whole game. But funniest part about it was we're like literally about to start. And our PA announcer for the hockey club, Dave Joseph, like,
I love
him. Now for our host for the evening, he's the best guy ever. Amazing human,
Dave.
amazing person.
He's been on. Yeah.
Love Dave. But he goes, now to our host for the evening, Sammy and Mike. And I'm like, I go, thank you, David Lynch. I'm like, oh my.
Wrong, David.
I dropped the director's name. I'm like, I'm a lady caned up right now. I don't know what's going on. And yeah, dude. So funny stuff, awesome. But that was an interesting time. Do you guys want to see the photo of what it looked like?
Yeah.
With the finger.
Yeah. You were supposed to send me this. And I didn't get it.
Oh yeah, dude, I was. Here it is.
I guarantee it's not anything worse than my dad.
Oh, it was not good.
Ooh, nice.
Dude, 5 pounds of weight did that?
It was a 30. I wedged the finger between the bench and the weight. Yeah, it could have been 5.
I'm just teasing.
I've been happier. But yeah, good. It was. I don't get like knock on wood luck like you know. God forbid, but like I don't play hockey, so I don't get pucks to the face or like
I mean, I'm not sure if
nailed into the boards. I can imagine, so yeah, and I'm a little bit of a softie from New York,
Look at that bad boy right there.
Oh,
I mean,
Dest. Yeah, you've got knocked around.
I've had my time.
So it was definitely like one of those experiences where it's like, okay, I've
well, at least you sacked up and went and did what you had to do.
You said it.
That's real though, man. Like you got to be there.
One thing I'm.
It was awesome though, and that was a rough night against Montreal. But it was like I'm so happy I made it to the game.
Because afterwards you were like, yeah, nothing's stopping me now.
Yep. And talking to like David Osman, who sings the anthem sometimes, but David that night, David suffers,
descendant of the Osman family.
Yep. And he suffers from a I don't like quote me on exactly, but he's a pretty miraculous story, honestly. Like it's very similar to Parkinson's.
Without asking too much, is there any way we can have him on?
Dude, I'd be happy to hook you guys up with David anytime. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he gladly would do it.
And I'm going to shout out the national anthems at the Delta Center because so I've got a music ear, and the national anthems that I heard at the games were impeccable.
Kaylee Busio,
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Riley
incredible
Page.
singers.
Yep. And it's crazy to me because in all regard, like they were fired.
Yeah, they're so good.
Our shout out to the team, by the way, and the management. They're unbelievable, man.
I've got one more thing for you here, and you kind of already answered it, but when I saw your last name, you don't have to answer. When I saw your last name, I was like, there is no way that's actually his last name.
Yeah.
Goodkind. It's like you were born.
He's a good kind of person
to be an arena
good
host,
kind.
Thank you, I love it.
He's a good kind.
Hey,
it sounds made up, but it's not.
If I'm ever a jerk, I'm screwed.
Now we're gonna have a competition between you and Snowball.
Our buddy.
My
Snowball.
buddy. I grew up playing hockey with Curtis Snowball.
Yeah.
And his last name is legitimately Snowball.
Snowball.
And nobody thought that. And I'm like, no, it's Snowball.
Dude, that's 100%. A common last name too. I had a buddy in high school.
Kidding?
Yeah.
No way. Air 5.
That's sick. But yeah, shout out to, I went to Camp Lennox in the Berkshires and great camp. And it was a sports camp. And I was like the least competitive person there. I went to camp with a bunch of kids who were like wanting to play basketball, and none of them were obviously good enough. Great guys, but
you're tall enough.
But I was never good. But the director's dad, Monty Moss, God rest his soul, great guy. But Monty, he lived almost 100, I think. But Monty would drive by in his golf cart and always go, bad kind. And I'd be like, oh, yeah.
You're all wrong. Good kind.
He knew it too. He loved getting under his.
Are you a golfer?
Yeah. Am I a golfer? I actually just got some clubs from a friend. Go. He gave them to me.
Let's see you soon.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to play?
Yes.
We should.
Absolutely.
We can make an episode out of it.
And I would love that. And this summer, just to shout out one more to the Marshals League, who you guys asked me what I'm doing, but I'll be broadcasting for the Marshals League this summer. And it's basically the Marshall Gates Foundation. Marshall Gates lived out in Utah, passed away at a super young age, and his family helped create the MGF, Marshall Gates Foundation.
That, by the way, for you.
Oh, dude, cool. Yeah, we need sponsorships.
It doesn't happen
for the
overnight,
broadcast. It's so cool. Oh, dude, appreciate you looking out. But we're, basically they fly out 90 guys each summer to play baseball. Down in
Ages,
Kearns.
what ages?
They're all going into their freshman year. The majority going into their freshman year of college.
Okay.
The pitching staff, I think it can range in age.
It's like 18, 19.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. And these kids play their hearts
Is
out
it more of like
day
a
in, day
prospect
out.
camp to go farther?
Exactly.
Cool.
But like,
where are they going to be playing at? The new ballpark or
down at Kearns High School.
Okay.
They'll be playing. And we're looking for people to come out to the ballpark. Like we just want fans to come out and help support. And it's an awesome cause.
It's universal, right? Jazz, take note. Let's go, Mammoth. Let's go.
Well, and
Let's get this done right.
You do an excellent
Marshall's
job
League,
at broadcasting.
Yeah,
I've seen the clips of you doing the Utes games and whatnot.
Oh, UVU, yeah.
Or UVU,
Wolverines,
yeah.
yep.
And you've got that. You've just got that voice.
Thank you.
And yeah, your analysis of what's
What he's
happening
trying
and
to
everything
say
is
you're
fantastic.
pretty.
Yeah.
You're pretty.
I'm not that pretty though.
You've got a face for television and a voice for radio. So,
but we got AI coming in, and it's going to come in better.
I don't know if I've ever met somebody with a face for television and voice for radio.
I do have this sitcom idea. I think I was talking about this, but where they develop my cat's name Yanni, and the government develops Robo Yanni. It's
I hope they hit the organ on Yanni.
It's the AI version.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's the AI version of Yanni, and he comes out for my job.
Okay, you're now known as Yanni to me.
Yanni, I'll take it.
Yanni Goodkind.
Yeah.
But they try
Not
him
the
out in the
cello
arena. And, dude, can you imagine though an AI cat, and he's like, Utah, make some noise, and the player's like, this guy's amazing. He's shooting out T-shirts out of his mouth, like, be pretty cool,
Actually, you're not wrong, but yeah,
be kind of
fair
cool.
enough. All right, well, I think we're about wrapped up. But hey,
this summer, Marshall's League again. It's a league that Chris Bryant and Bryce Harper played in, and we're looking for people to come out and support.
Yep.
Shout out your
local
socials.
talent, and
shout
out socials at _Goodkind. I think it's at _B_Goodkind. I don't use Twitter, but I got
Just
one.
look up Michael Goodkind, and I'm sure you'll find it.
Yeah,
You guys are awesome.
We want to do
This
we
was
want to
cool.
do all this. We'll drag everything into making sure that we get this uploaded and proper. So,
and just a shout out, honestly, to the Utah faithful. Just every night at the arena, like night in, night out, Jazz games, Mammoth or hockey
and
games.
support both.
The fans are awesome.
There's a weird tilt. Hockey took over a little bit, but support the Jazz, support hockey. I haven't been to Jazz games since I was 12, so I need to. I'm kind of being a little bit biased on that right now. So
He's a hockey guy to the core.
12. Dude, we got to get to the Jazz games are a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. And they're electric.
And I'm looking forward to the new
gonna
arena
make it
layout with the Jazz games.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Because of how that slope just gradually, is going to go up now with the new arena layout that they've got going on.
I mean, I've played hockey my whole life. I didn't have time for much, so somebody dragged me to a Jazz game.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, we'll get them
I
to
got
one.
a picture of Greg Ostertag at the zoo, right? So, when my cowboy hat got eaten by a giraffe.
That's pretty cool.
It's a real thing.
Greg, such a nice guy.
Absolutely.
Such a nice guy. Just a nice Jazz alum.
You're amazing. And
You're
I love
amazing,
you guys,
Michael.
man.
Thank you for having me on. You guys are beautiful.
Thanks for coming.
And huge shout out to Callie. Callie, we love you.
Or go Callie.
Yeah.
Somebody get a phone out and get a picture of her crying.
I think we should call her
Just teasing.
Galaxy Callie.
Galaxy
There you
Kid.
go.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
not
it.
bad. Not bad.
This has been the Puck Drop Podcast. We'll see you next time.